from your home of the 2016 Rio Summer Olympics. This is KHQ Local News at 5, right now. Breaking now on KHQ.
And breaking now, firefighters on scene to rescue a driver who crashed down this very steep hill in northwest Spokane toward the Spokane River. Now, here's a map of where this is all happening right now along Northwest Boulevard past the Downriver neighborhood. KHQ Local News reporter Patrick Erickson joins us live from there. Patrick, what's the latest?
Well, Dan, right now what we do know is one person is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after going off this embankment just a short time ago. You can see it actually started the car right up here. That vehicle then traveling down this very, very steep embankment all the way down to the river, an estimated 300 feet. Now let's take a look. We have another camera right down there closer. You can see it's a white pickup truck stopped just feet from the Spokane River. I actually had a chance to speak with a witness who was right behind that vehicle. He said that person did not brake as he went over the embankment. He said he flew off of it, ending up there down by the river. He had a chance to get down there and eventually was able to pull that man from the Spokane River. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I jumped out of the car, just went after him, so it was crazy.
What happened once you got down there?
Well, the guy was laying in the water. The truck is maybe like 10 feet from the water, and the guy was laying in the water, just covered with water all the way.
And what did you do?
Tried pulling him out, but he was heavy. So there's another guy that helped me out, and the lady nurse. So we pulled him out of the water, and looks like he's all right. You know?
Some quick actions there by some witnesses, police and fire department employees tell me probably saved this man's life. Right now he remains in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The road down here is closed for the time being. A lot of emergency personnel still on scene. They tell me they're going to be here for a while. Reporting live tonight, Patrick Erickson, KHQ Local News.
Patrick, before you leave that scene, I want to ask you, is there some type of guardrail that protects that hill that he went through, he went over? How did it get down that hill in the first place?
Honestly, Dan, we have no idea. At one point, the person I talked to actually talked to me and said he thought that the person might have been out, may have been passed out, or had some sort of medical episode. I can tell you that there's not much of a guardrail. There's actually just a little bit of a cyclone fence, and that is really about it that keeps people from the roadway and this embankment, which again is very, very steep and about 300 yards or 300 feet from the Spokane River.
And Patrick, before you go, any road closures that travelers need to hear about?
At this point, the road up here, Northwest Boulevard, is still open right now. A lot of the emergency crews are down below next to the river. Not going to impact traffic at all at this point.
All right, keep us posted. Thank you. Patrick Erickson reporting live on scene. If you're signed up for our free breaking news text alerts, you learned about this crash during Judge Judy. If you're not signed up, you do want the latest news sent to you as it happens, just download the free KHQ Local News app for your smartphone or tablet. It only takes about a minute. From our North Idaho newsroom, the teenager convicted of killing his father and brother will spend the next 20 years in prison. Eldon Samuel, who says he was prepping for a zombie apocalypse, was sentenced today. The prosecutor says he'll serve at least 20 years behind bars and then be eligible for parole. Now, coming up at 6, KHQ North Idaho reporter Liz Birch is sitting down with Samuel's mother right now as we speak. She's working on that story new at 6 o'clock. Also happening right now, some thunderstorms popping up as we speak. Blake Jensen tracking them in the Weather Center.
Yeah, Dan, it's been a little bit of a crazy afternoon. Obviously had the rain out there this morning. Then with a little bit of sunshine this afternoon, we've started to see some thunderstorms popping up out there. And you can see a couple of very distinct lines of storms, mostly south of Spokane. That's what we've been keeping a close eye on. And you can see here this indication right there showing where we're seeing some hail as well. So you can see just south of Cheney, we've got a storm cell producing some hail there. East of Pomeroy, some hail as well as into the Panhandle. Just northeast of Orofino. So some crazy thunderstorms at the moment. They are going to start to die down here over the next couple of hours. As the futurecast shows, you can still see all those storms out there right now. That moves through by about 8, 9 o'clock. Those should be wrapping up. We're actually going to clear out overnight tonight, but still could stay a little bit on the windy side. Much more on that in just a few minutes, Dan.
All right, thank you, Blake. And yes, another major factor we are keeping an eye on in the Weather Center tonight are those winds. In the last 30 minutes, we've learned that at least 4 trees have been knocked down by winds in the Colville area. KHQ local news reporter Joe McHale looked into whether trees possibly damaged from the last windstorm are something we should worry about now.
It's a blustery day in the inland northwest, and on the South Hill, This father and son clean up tree limbs left over from the November windstorm.
He needs money for football camp, and I said there's enough work out there in the community. Go see what you can do.
It's a way for them to rake in a little extra green. Good for them. There's still plenty of cleanup to be done, but they won't find any work at Sandy Hatch's home.
There's where they were. The big one was on the right, and that they said probably was 100 years old and 100 feet tall.
Hatch says the wind took a toll on her 2 large trees, creating gaps and cracks all along the base on her yard.
Along all of these rocks and around, you could see where it had moved.
Because of the threat to her home, Hatch decided it was time for the trees to go, a decision she says was hard to make.
Still makes me sad to see them gone. Several friends have said it opens up your backyard, but I like the trees and I love the shade, which that's gone too.
It was a necessary sacrifice, and although Hatch wasn't happy about the decision, she knows it was the right one.
The risk was too great. I didn't want to sleep in my basement for the next however many years I'm here.
Now out here live, we're learning a lot about the potential hazards or the dangers of dying trees. Let's start with this one here in the park at the top of the tree. That's where you want to start. Look for any dead or dying branches. Now, as you move down the trunk, that's an important part. Don't forget about that. A lot of things to look at on the trunk, such as this, like right here, it's forked. That shows a sign of weakness. Other things, you can see this extra growth right here, as well as a nesting hole on this side of the trunk. Those show signs of decay on a tree. And never forget about the roots down here. You can't see them very well right here because they're buried under the ground, but if you can see severed roots or fungus growing around the roots, that's a sign that your tree could be in a lot of trouble. Remember, check your tree several times a year. Reporting live in Spokane tonight, Joe McHale, KHQ Local News.
All right, thank you, Joe. And if you know of a tree in danger of falling on a power line, don't try to cut it down yourself. Avista says if a tree near a power line is visibly dead or dying, call them and they will safely remove it. As always, if you want to keep track of the weather as it happens, make sure you have the free KHQ Weather Authority app for your smartphone or tablet. And we have this story just in. At least 5 people are dead after a sightseeing helicopter crashed in the woods of eastern Tennessee. Detectives say the helicopter was destroyed by fire. No word yet on how many were on board or what caused the crash. Out of North Idaho tonight, double check your water. That's the message to utility companies in the Gem State tonight, as the government wants to make sure there are no problems with your drinking water. The state's request comes after a problem surfaced with the drinking water in Flint, Michigan several months ago. Since then, whether local water systems are tainted with lead have been a big concern. The state says each company has until July to make sure its water is safe from lead. So far, Idaho says at least 3 systems in the southwest part of the state have flaws. Oh, crime tracker alert tonight. The manhunt for an Idaho man accused of murder has taken a new twist after detectives discovered a potential piece of evidence in Spokane Valley. Claire Graham joins us in the newsroom now. Claire, who are they looking for, and why is Spokane Valley now ground zero for this manhunt?
Well, Dan, that's where police say these 2 people have now left a trail. They have detectives from Nampa to Sandpoint to the U.S. Marshals now converging on Spokane Valley. Let's give you a closer look at these 2. 32-year-old James Mancuso is wanted for killing a man in southwestern Idaho. Police believe he's traveling with this woman, his 27-year-old girlfriend, Ashley Ford. Now, police say the murder happened on March 10th, which is just west of Boise. But the manhunt then moved more than 400 miles north of there when deputies in Bonner County spotted the couple on March 23rd. Now, that night, sheriff's deputies say the 2 drove off from a traffic stop and then disappeared, sending the town of Sandpoint into a brief lockdown, essentially. A few days later, deputies say they believe Mancuso and Ford stole this truck from the area where they were last seen. Now, after that, despite detectives' best efforts, the search went cold for more than a week until last night in Spokane Valley. Now, while I mentioned the U.S. Marshals are joining the hunt for these 2, tonight there isn't any kind of order for people in Spokane Valley to stay inside. Police do say, though, that Mancuso and Ford are armed and dangerous, so if you see them, please call 911 right away. In the newsroom, I'm Claire Graham, KHQ Local News.
Oh, Claire, thank you. Right now, a special program run by Spokanimals is getting a lot of national attention. We talked with Spokanimal and visited a barn to see how feral cats are getting a new lease on their 9 lives. Out here at Spokane Sports House, you'll find 40-some horses lounging in their stables. But behind the scenes, the real workhorses of the barn grab a quick bite to eat.
The amount of damage from the rodents has gone down significantly enough that we don't even really have any anymore. They take their job seriously.
Gail Mackey manages the farm and is the executive director of Spokanimal.
There are a variety of shelters or even owned animals that for one reason or another have become unadoptable, and there's no reason why they can't be rodent managers at farms.
Spokanimal's Farm Living program has relocated nearly 2,000 feral or unadoptable cats to barns and warehouses around Spokane.
They love them. It's huge. It's a real natural way for rodent control.
As for the furry felines, it's not just a game of cat and mouse.
As we have horse shows, the cats wander around the trailers and the people see them and they adopt them and take them home, which means that we then have room to take more here.
Good for the shelters.
This has made a significant difference in the number of cats euthanized.
Good for the barns.
No mice.
And especially good for our feline friends.
It's another life saved, and that's what's important to us. There we go.
All right, still ahead tonight at 5 o'clock. Warmer weather comes with a consequence, while the White House is back in a new report about global warming and our health. That's in 10 minutes.
And after a crazy day today, the rest of the night tonight looking okay. Some isolated thunderstorms mainly south of Spokane here for the next couple of hours. Then we start to clear out overnight, getting ready for some more nice weather in Spokane. We'll be tracking that coming up.
Blake, thank you. But first, billboard battle. Why this sign that some say shows too much skin is actually legal despite the controversy it's brewing. That is next. And in case you are just joining us, again, doctors trying to save a man's life after he crashed his truck down this steep hill and toward the Spokane River. Now here's where it happened on Northwest Boulevard, just past the Downriver neighborhood. Let's take you to the river first. Firefighters say the man crashed some 200 feet downhill, and when he reached the bottom, got thrown from the truck into the water. Fortunately, a bystander saw this all happen, hopped into the river, and saved the man. That driver's at the hospital right now. No word yet on what caused the crash, but as soon as we learn anything new, of course, we'll bring it to you right here and also online at khq.com. Welcome back. Too much skin or no big deal? Billboards advertising Second Base coffee stand in the Hilliard area are causing quite a stir. The billboards on Haven and Sanson show a photo of a woman who's wearing, well, next to nothing, and they've exploded into controversy on social media. Dozens of people questioning why this is allowed in a public area where children can see it. KHQ local news reporter Caitlin Reardon looked into whether or not this is all legal. Caitlin, what did you find out?
Well, this is the same sign that was causing a controversy at a coffee stand out in Spokane Valley 2 years ago. At that time, the city of Spokane said it wouldn't be permitted within the city here, but I talked to Councilman Mike Fagan today. He said that despite the fact it's maybe offensive to some, there is nothing illegal about it being there.
Ever since they opened up, we've had more business over there than we've had in any other coffee stand.
Shanna Turley lives right across the street from Second Base Coffee Stand, which opened up less than a month ago. She says it's always busy.
The first day, we had cars lined outside on Haven Street.
But the controversy isn't about their coffee, it's about the advertising. A viewer sent this post to us on Facebook saying their billboards were completely inappropriate and lewd, also talking about how it shouldn't be visible on a children's bus route. So I brought this issue to Spokane City Councilman Mike Fagan, who confirmed that the sign was on a school bus route, but that bus route has been changed because of the billboards. He also says while it is in poor taste, it isn't illegal. The girls working at the stand spoke to me off camera. They say some days they do wear as little as the model on the billboard, but it's up to them what they want to wear. They said they've heard several complaints since the sign has been up, but told me that it isn't going anywhere. This topic has exploded on Facebook. We've had more than 40 shares, more than 330 comments, and we did put a poll up asking if you guys think that this goes too far, and 71% of people do think that it does go too far. Reporting in Hilliard tonight, Caitlin Reardon, KHQ Local News.
All right, well, if you'd like to weigh in, just go online right now. And don't forget, this story came to us as a news tip. It's real easy to do. Just go to khq.com right now to submit your news story. Well, the boys of summer are back, but some are taking a little longer to return. The Cleveland Indians had to postpone their Major League Baseball season opener today after, well, some snow and some rain moved in this afternoon. Team pointed out, though, it was actually colder in Cleveland today for opening day than it was for either Christmas or Thanksgiving. Blake's back in the Weather Center. I tell you, this past weekend, it was perfect to be outdoors.
Yeah, really nice out there, Dan. And then we got today, which just kind of put a spoil to it. But yeah, some rain out there this morning. Now we've been seeing those very comfortable temperatures all the way through.
Welcome back. New tonight, global warming is making America sicker, and it's only going to get worse. That, according to a new report by the White House, which says global warming will make the air dirtier, water more contaminated, and food more tainted. It warns of diseases like those spread by ticks and mosquitoes, longer allergy seasons, and thousands of heat wave deaths. Critics say the government raises real questions about, but it's the government which needs to do more to fight global warming. All right, time for a break. We are back right after this.
Live from the Fastener Sports Studio, powered by Fastenal, SWX on KHQ starts right now. You're watching Drive for the Title, powered by Coeur d'Alene Casino.
2006 was the last time the Mariners lost on opening day. Now, if they beat the Texas Rangers in their opener this afternoon, they would have tied the Major League record for most consecutive opening day wins. Instead, their streak was snapped. The Rangers managed just one hit in the game, but they scored 3 runs in the 5th inning on their way to a 3-2 win over the M's. Cole Hamels gets the win for the Rangers, while Felix Hernandez gets his first ever opening day loss. Well, as we get ready for the college basketball national championship tonight, some local college basketball news. Washington State center Valentine Azundu is transferring. Azundu played just 1 season at WSU after transferring from the University of Houston. He averaged 4 points a game and 2 blocks a game for the Cougs in his junior season. Lately, it's been one of the marquee games on Gonzaga's schedule. Now it's going to be played on an even bigger stage. On December 3rd, Gonzaga will take on the Arizona Wildcats at Staples Center in LA. This according to a report from ESPN's Jeff Goodman. Now the game will reportedly be part of a doubleheader at Staples, the other game featuring BYU taking on USC. That'll do it for sports. We're back after this.
Breaking now on KHQ.
Breaking right now, again, one man is in the hospital. Doctors trying to save his life after he crashed his truck some 200 to 300 feet down this steep hill toward the Spokane River. It happened on Northwest Boulevard just past the Downriver neighborhood. The driver, again, very badly hurt after being ejected into the water. Detectives don't know what caused this crash just yet. We'll have more coverage tonight on KHQ Local News at 6. In the meantime, you can get the very latest on KHQ.com as well as on our Twitter and Facebook pages. Lester Holt is next with NBC Nightly News.